What happened to our music? Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Free Daily Coaching. We lost our music, and that's okay. I guess it just plays that song down one time through, so we're not going to hear that song. So good morning, and welcome to Free Daily Coaching. This morning, I wanted to talk about what happens when it gets tough, right? What happens when it gets tough or boring? And the reason I wanted to talk about that is because yesterday, and I'm going to show you a folder here in just a second. I'm going to do a screen share, and I want to ask a question about what do you do in your business? What happens when it starts to get tough? It gets challenging, there's obstacles, or it gets boring, right? What do? Do you just give up? Do you switch off on to the next, hot thing, or do you press forward? Do you keep on going? And the reason I brought this up is over this past week, we've been showing you what we're doing in our marketing, what we're doing to build out our businesses, and we've been taking action. So when we take action, we want to share that with you, and then we want to show you this is the real stuff that has to occur, right? These are the steps that are required to achieve a result. So we can do the steps, we can outsource some of the work, right? There's various options. However, the reality of the situation is this. In the very first time that you're doing something, it's almost required. I don't want to say it's totally required. I'm sure there's some exception to the rule, but it's almost required that you do the work, that you do all the work first, because how else would you be able to teach someone else how to do it? How would you be able to outsource that work? So I want to show yesterday, I did a couple pop-up webinars after our free daily coaching session where I showed, hey, this is exactly what we're doing, right? If you want to see what we're doing, this is it. This is the process, and this is the proven formula that we're using to go out and create more streams of revenue. So yesterday I showed doing a bunch of keyword research using the keyword planner. I also showed using a new tool called the Video Rank Sniper to be able to prioritize, if you will, the results. I then showed the results that we got from the application. I then did a webinar yesterday where I specifically showed, and I'll pull this up really quick just as an example. I specifically showed the output of the keywords, and what I did was I went in and I went through them. So let me show you what I did, and this is what I'm talking about. What happens when it gets tough, or what happens when it gets boring? What do you do, right? So let me do a screen share here with everyone. All right, so yesterday we pulled a couple of different lists, and in this case we pulled, this list was 200 plus, I think. Yeah, so 273 keywords. So you can see there's quite a few keywords. So the only way that I can effectively go through this entire list is if I go through it one by one, right? Search by search or word by word. So I showed everyone yesterday what I did was I changed the columns, and I first, put them in order from highest to lowest here on the Google search, and I categorized all of the top ones in red, and then I went down to a lower number of searches and I changed it to blue, and now you can see that they're all back in order, in the right order, easiest to go, right? And they all are, the yellow ones are, these ones are ones I already created, and then the blues are the lower search, right? 500 or less, and over 500 is in the red, right? And I just went through and I said, okay, like I'm not gonna go for social media archiving because it just doesn't make sense. So all I did was color code mine. Now I could have deleted them out, but I wanted to keep these because I might use them for something else, right? I might break these off and use them for something else. I haven't decided. So what do you do when it gets boring, when it gets mundane, right? Do you press on, or do you just give up? Do you just kind of flail without a purpose? Because I've talked to a lot of different people doing a lot of different marketing, trying a lot of different strategies, And when you talk about doing the keyword research, when you talk about going and creating content, right? Posting on purpose, that's what Rob Ford calls it. He just calls it posting on purpose. So if you're gonna go out and pop, right? If you want to pop, if you wanna actually get your content seen, get more exposure, and actually get a result, you have to post on purpose. You can't just make random videos and random content and just expect to get a result, right? That's not, it's like just saying I'm gonna randomly go outside and hope that it rains today and it just randomly is gonna rain. That's just not how it works, right? It's just not how the system works. So what do? Well, I'm gonna tell you what I did. I did it in Pomodoro style, okay? We've talked about this on other free daily coachings. Let me take off so you don't have to just stare at this because I wanna show you some other things. The Pomodoro style, and if you're familiar with the Pomodoro style, then you can skip past this part if you're watching the replay. If you're not familiar, let me just explain it really quick. The Pomodoro style is an idea of setting aside a block of time, let's say in 15-minute increments, where you work for 15 minutes and then you take a 5-minute break. And in that 15 minutes, you don't do anything except for that specific task, nothing. You don't answer your phone, you don't do emails, you don't get up and go to the bathroom, you don't get a water, you don't call your Aunt Sally, you don't pet the dog, you don't check Facebook, you don't do anything except that specific activity. And then you do it for 15 minutes and then you get a 5-minute break, right? And then you go back in and you can extend those sessions, but this Pomodoro technique is something that I use, especially when it's super boring, right? Because it's kind of boring. You're just going through the keywords, right? You're not creating anything. You're just going through the keywords. Now, I did something else yesterday that was super boring. That took a long time, right? But it was required for the overall project to be completed. So it was on my list of required actions. So I knew that the task needed to be accomplished and I needed to accomplish it. So again, I did this in Pomodoros. I broke this up into 15-minute sections. I actually played some music while I was doing this, right? So I turned on some music to liven up the atmosphere. And I'm gonna show you now what I did, what the second part was. So let me open this folder and show you guys. Okay, so let me open this up because it's massive. Okay, so let me do a screen share. So yesterday, as part of this project, I got all my keyword research done. Oh, I lost my mouse. Hold on. Can't see my mouse. Where'd my mouse go? Oh, there we are, connected, okay. Yesterday, as part of this project, I took that keyword list, okay? I took this main keyword list after I had done all my sorting, and I knew that I needed to start at the bottom. And the reason I needed to start at the bottom was because this was going to be the most competitive word, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to rank for this immediately. So I want to go and create a video, an anchor video. Okay, I'm about to sneeze, so excuse me if I do. I wanted to be able to create this anchor piece of content, excuse me, so that I could create all the rest of this content and point and link back to this piece to help to be able to rank this piece. We talk about that in another video. So I got all these keywords sorted, and I did 2 or 3 of these lists, right? They're all color coded. Then I created the content to be able to anchor so that now I could go and build in bulk. Well, I have a couple tools that I'm using to help build in bulk and to post in bulk and to do some powerful things with content creation. So one of the tools that I found, I had to download a bunch of content, okay? Now, all of the content came in zipped files, which means I had to download the file, then I had to unzip the file, and then it gave me a file folder, and then I had to get rid of, and you can see over here in my trash can, I got all these zip files still, right? So I'm gonna try to delete all those just because I don't need to have all of the zip files, right? So I come over here and I had to download them all. So each one of these folders, right? And I'll show you, each one of these folders has massive amounts of boom, boom, boom. Look at all of this stuff, okay? Inside of them, right? And then each one of those folders has content. So I had to go in and download all the zip files, open them up, delete them, and then, you know, create all these files and then organize all these folders, put all these folders into another folder so that I could come in here and access all this information super quick and super easy. Okay, why did I do that? Why would I spend literally an entire, and I'm going to take this off of my screen, why would I spend an entire work day, an entire day? I sat at my computer, and there was a couple times in between the Pomodoros where I would go and post on, I would take that my 5-minute break to post on Facebook or send a message to a buddy or something like that. I took a couple client calls, right, in between the Pomodoro sections. But the question really is, what reason would I have to sit down and do all of that work, like an entire day's worth of boring work? Why would I do that, right? Oh, I didn't see over in the chat what happens when it gets tough or boring, right? Keep going. Change the plan. There's magic in getting organized. Yeah, I didn't notice that Rob was here this morning. So good morning, Rob. Good morning to everyone else that's here, to Tracy and Clive and Chris and Whitman, the regs. And if you're viewing on YouTube. So what happens when it gets challenging and it gets tough or boring? That's a time when I think when it gets tough, when it gets boring, that's literally the moment of opportunity. It's like, you know, when you talk about a teeter-totter, right? You know what I'm talking about. It's like a big, maybe like a triangular piece of wood or metal, and there's a big board on it, right? And it teeters and it totters. What happens when you make it right up to the top of that point, right? Where you're gonna tip one way or the other. Well, what I believe that in that point, that's the breaking point. That's the making point, if you will. The break it or make it, right? It's a make or break kind of a moment, and it's a moment where you have the opportunity you have that opportunity right in that moment to be able to seize success. Literally, this is where we falter most of the time, though. We get bored, we get challenged, and we don't know what to do, so we quit, we give up, we stop. Right? Or it's just boring. We're like, oh, this is so boring. I don't want to do this. So we avoid that activity. Okay? So what happens when it gets tough or boring? Many of us quit. We turn the other way. We go somewhere else. But what I say to you, what I challenge you to do is look around you and see the individuals that have had success and notice that when they came to these points in their business, in what they were doing and what they were trying to accomplish in achieving their goals. Yes, there was times where it was challenging. Yes, there was times when there was activities that were not the most exciting, that were mundane, that were, you know, not part of the fun part of it. Imagine when, let's use Walt Disney built this huge theme park down in Orange County, right? California. Imagine when Disneyland was being built, there was all these fun parts, right, of being built, but there was some really mundane parts, like getting the city permits and having the engineers check off on stuff, right? That wasn't probably the most exciting part. Maybe for Walt Disney it was. I don't know. I'm saying for me that wouldn't be. But that was required. That was necessary to get to the end goal, to be able to make Disneyland. So how are you going to make your business? How are you going to create this stream of revenue, this new freedom, this new way of life, if you're not willing to push through the tough challenges? If when it gets boring, you're not willing to say, well, hey, listen, life isn't always a race car ride, right? Life isn't always a NASCAR trip around the track where you're, you know, going at 200 miles an hour and you can feel the steering wheel shake and you can see the rubber flying off the tires in front of you, right? It's not like that all the time. Sometimes what your business is like, I'm going to say a 4-letter word that it's going to be offensive, right? It's kind of like work. I don't want to say it out loud. I don't want to yell that too loud, right? But sometimes there's a little bit of effort involved. And that effort takes a little bit of work. But my question is this. Would it be worth it to you if you could do that little bit of work, if you could put out that effort? Would that effort be worth it to you? Would it be worth it to you to sit down for the day like I did yesterday, get all of that laid out? All of my keywords are now laid out. I have an exact plan. I have all my content ready in folders. Would that be worth it to do that? So that today, instead of spinning my wheels and getting 1 or 2 or maybe 3 videos created, would it be worth it so that I could have all of that created and I can multiply that by 10 or 20 or 100? Would that be worth it then? If I could go out and create 25 videos right now, today, would it be worth it to have spent that time to do that yesterday? Imagine, I'm gonna bump that number just a little bit because I want you to just for a moment with me this morning, I want you to imagine this. Imagine if I bump that just by 5 and I'm able to create 30 videos today because of the work that I did yesterday. The effort and the energy and the time that was expended yesterday plus today, I'm able to create 30 videos and get them up on YouTube, get them ranking, get some stuff going, right? I want you to imagine just for a moment what the power of that is. I just took 2 days, 2 work days. Okay? Let's say I worked 8 hours both days, that was 16 hours. And I now created a video, a piece of content. If we average it out, that would be 1 piece of content, a new video, uploaded, ranked, linked out, ready to go, backlink, like the whole process done, built, deluxe in 16 hours. Now, do you think, and let's just be honest, because you don't just answer to yourself, because you could lie to me, right? It's okay. You could lie to me, but you can't lie to yourself. I know that. So just be honest and ask yourself, would you be able to do that amount, that powerful amount of work? Would you be able to get that accomplished, the same thing, if you took just under a half an hour a day, 30 minutes a day? Would you be able to focus in for 30 minutes every single day? Because 30 minutes a day over a month would be like 15 hours, right? That'd be about the same. Would you be able to create that amount of content? Would it be that powerful? My answer is simply no. The reason is this. Are you going to be able to every single day in 30 minutes go do keyword research, figure out the keyword, create the written content, create the video, upload the video, optimize the video, publish it, distribute it, on multiple channels, and then go out and talk about it on social media? Are you going to be able to do all of those activities in just under a half an hour? And then are you going to do that every single day? Are you going to be committed? Not if next week, if the kids have to go to the field trip, you can't take a day off. It still has to be accomplished, right? I mean, you could take a day off, but you're not going to move towards your goal. And if Aunt Sally needs a ride to the eye appointment because she has a doctor's appointment, that's cool. Now, of course, you want to be able to do those things. But however, if you take that time and your post doesn't get made, then that's another day that something didn't get done, right? And when you're sick for 3 days, you can't make videos because you're coughing, you're laying in bed, then you're another 3 days behind. And are you going to make that up, right? These are real questions. These are the real obstacles. This is what happens when it gets tough. You got to start making these tough decisions. Hey, am I going to do this every single day? Do I have that discipline? Because if not, there's other ways, there's other methods that you could employ right now today that would get you the desired result, that could get you from point A to point B, point A being where you're at now, point B being the desired result. There's ways to get there, and there's different methods. This method, the method of batching, we talked about it on our webinars over the past couple of weeks, this idea of being able to batch your work, to automate what you're doing so that you're not spending all the time doing it, to batch it so that you could literally build things like an assembly line so you can mass produce things so you can leverage your time. These are tough decisions to make. Because, let me explain why. Because are you willing, and this is the tough question, right? This is where the rubber meets the road, and then I'll go look at the comments here. Are you willing to commit to your plan, to your idea? And the question goes deeper. Is the plan that you're following a proven plan or not? Yes or no? Ask yourself this question. Am I following a set of directions or a plan, a formula, a system that is a proven system, that's a proven formula? Have there been multiple people that have come before me, applied a set of steps, and gotten a result? Yes or no? Doesn't matter how you feel about it. Oh, well, not really, but I really like it, and the guy that runs it is amazing, and if you met Darlene, you would know that it's really special. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, are you following a set of steps, a formula of action that gets results? Yes or no? Answer that question. If the answer is yes, if the answer is no, then you have to make a serious decision. Hey, do I need to change my direction? Do I need to? My answer would be yes. You need to go find a real plan, a real formula, a real guide or blueprint to success, a map to get you there. And then hopefully a group of people that are going in the same direction so that you can have some camaraderie and some mentorship if you want that, right? If you're a free bird and you like to go solo, that's available too. You can find plenty of places that's like work at your own speed. So the question is, if it's no, if the answer is no, then you need to find something. If the answer is yes, then what are you doing? Why are you not committing? Here's the deal. If you've got the formula, if you've got the plan, and you don't commit 100%, if you don't mentally say, okay, I'm going to commit to this process. I'm going to take the actions, get results, and then feedback. It's a feedback loop. I'm going to get results, and if it's not the results I want, I'm going to take a different action, and I'm going to keep doing that until I get the desired result. But this is what's happening. It gets tough. It's tough to make that decision. It's boring sometimes, the activities we have to take to get to the end result. Sometimes it's boring to take the same action again. You're like, oh, I'm going to do this again to see what? Negative feedback on this, that this isn't good, that I got to tweak it again? Well, yeah, maybe so. Or, oh, I got to sift through these numbers. Yeah, that's what you got to do to be able to pinpoint it if you want to laser focus. Now, are there automated tools? Are there things like Video Rank Sniper that help you to pinpoint the keywords? Absolutely. Are there other tools that we use to automate and to help us create content like Content Samurai? 100%. Absolutely. However, to get to the place where you can actually implement those tools and make it effective for you, you got to push through some of these tough ideas. You got to push through the boring activities and do the activities. You have to actually do you have to do the evil four-letter word. You have to do the work. You have to expend the effort. Or in some cases, the amount of, when I say work, the amount of work you have to do is minimal because you're leveraging tools and systems and platforms, but there's still effort, and that effort requires time. Okay, that's real. That's a real investment on your part. And are you willing to make that investment? Are you willing to make the investment and commit to the actions without knowing the result? Because here's the difference between following a proven plan and not. When you're not following a proven plan and you're simply going out and taking actions, you're simply stabbing in the dark. It's literally like you're just throwing stuff up against the wall and you're gonna see, hey, what's gonna stick up here? What if I throw something over there, right? That's what that's doing. However, when you're following a proven formula, you know that starting from A will get you to B. Now, there may be some detours. You may have to adjust the course along the way. However, if you know that hundreds, thousands, countless people over and over and over have gone from A to B, then you know it's possible for you. So what do? What happens when it gets tough or boring? Do you roll up like a roly-poly and roll away? You fold up like a lawn chair and blow away in the wind? Or do you anchor down? Do you remember that you're using a formula, that you're using a system, and that if you just simply follow the directions, you'll be able to get a result. And based on that result, you'll be able to continue to take the next actions. But you can't take the next action until you take the first action, right? That's real. You have to take the very first action to be able to get a result. And then that starts the ball rolling. The ball does not start rolling on its own. We have to start the ball rolling. So, are you willing to anchor yourself today? Are you willing to commit to the process? There's going to be times when it's not fun. Check this out. I decided I was going to grow my mustache, okay? And right today, it looks all goofy this morning. It was waxed the other day, so one side's up and one side's down because I was sleeping. And then I went to feed the animals, right? It looks all goofy. Now, there's a thing about this mustache, is it was growing with the rest of my beard at one point. And I made a comment to Jessica and I said, hey, would it be okay if I grew one of those mustaches where I could wax and everything? Would you care? And she said, no, I don't care. That's fine if you do it, as long as you groom it out and everything. It looks nice. And I said, okay, I will do that. However, when I committed to that process, there were times, multiple times, where the length of the mustache was very choppy. It was like I looked like a homeless guy, right? Even with the rest of my beard, it was just ridiculous looking. However, I committed to the process knowing at the end result, it was going to be a fun mustache that I'd be able to wax up and do fun things with and have like play around with and use for my business, right? For promotions and stuff. However, I knew that in the process of growing it out, there was going to be some difficult times. There was going to be some days where I looked in the mirror and was like, oh man, you look like a dirt ball. What is going on? You look like a wreck. There's going to be times in your business where it feels like it's tough, like you're spinning, like you're not moving forward, like, oh my gosh, is this what I have to do? In the beginning, yes, that is what's required. Over time, you will be able to refine the process, find even more refined systems and processes so that your actions can be more deliberate and more on purpose so that you can get a faster result. That's what it's all about. You want to go out and take action so you can get results, right? Everyone wants to get results, and everyone wants results when? Now, right now. They want instant results because we live in a McDonald's world, right? We live in a drive-through, Amazon Prime, ship it to me overnight, get it to me in 24/7, give me electronic delivery so I can get it to my email box right now world. People want right now results. You want right now results, right? That's why when you take an action and it doesn't give you that immediate gratification, that instant result, you get bored or frustrated, you move on to the next thing, thinking that that's going to do that. Because what you see is people taking action and getting results. You don't see all the behind the scenes work, right? You see the instant work. And I showed you that, right? I showed you that with Video Rank Sniper, except that this is the difference. Today, I'm showing you how I'm going to build out something massive. I'm not talking about ranking one video or two videos or a half a dozen videos. I'm talking about ranking hundreds of videos. Okay, so there's some work, some effort that goes behind that. If you want to go out and get instant results, you could go out and rank videos right now today. We showed you over the last few days how you can do that. We even showed you how you can do it without Video Rank Sniper. Now, Video Rank Sniper makes it faster, easier, and simpler, but you don't have to use it. You could do it manually and you could still rank videos right now, instantly. So the question is, what are you doing? What are you doing in your business? Right? There's plenty of information that's being shared all the time. If you're not getting leads, making sales, getting more exposure in your business today, if you're not doing one of those things today, then you should be having a day like I had yesterday where you're in the laboratory and you're getting that mundane work completed. And a good point of reference, this is the last tip of the day, is when you're doing that mundane work and when you're getting those things accomplished like I was yesterday. I did a couple pop-up webinars, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to tell you I did that for two reasons. One is so I could include you in that, so that you could actually be with me yesterday, so that I could show you exactly what I was doing and how you could do this, how we could do this together and get results, right? In addition, the second reason I did that was because while I was broadcasting that, it instantly recorded that for me. It saved that process for me. So now I could show someone else, hey, this is the steps required to do those actions. I could now outsource that action because I gave the instructions on what I was doing as I was doing it, and it got recorded. So I double dipped. I shared with you, I provided training for my audience, right? I'm able to put it on YouTube and email it and do a blog post about it and all of those things. I'm also able to now use that video to be able to show a virtual assistant, a real life assistant that's not a virtual one, that's not in the computer, right? I could give that task to someone and now outsource that task. And I did it all in one loop. I don't have to redo it again to do it again to show that person. I videoed that one right there. So maximizing your time. And how did I do this, right? Some of you are like, there's some of you that may have watched this webinar this morning that are like, boom, your mind is blown. You're like, what just happened, dude? What are you doing? How am I supposed to go and like accomplish this? This is how. You do it step by step. You go out and you create LoRa's, right? You get your LoRa to help you, your list of required actions, and then you catalog all of this. You write it all down, you keep it organized, and I'm telling you, when you get organized and when you start keeping track of exactly what you're doing and you start to get a system, it's just like anything else. You start to get better and better and faster and faster and stronger and stronger. That's what happens. So go out and flex your marketing muscle. Thanks for stopping by Free Daily Coaching this morning. I want to encourage each and every one of you to come by this Sunday. Rob and I are doing our week 5 of our marketing series. If you're not already registered, I'll shoot you over there in just a minute. We're doing the $1 million marketing map. It's literally your associates in marketing. We've been doing this for the last 4 weeks. This is week 5. We're culminating this week with our 5th week and looking forward to going out to Arizona. We're going to a launch event, and you have the opportunity to connect with us this Sunday as well as at that 3-day event. So thanks for joining us this morning. We'll see you tomorrow on another episode of Free Daily Coaching. And look throughout the day. You never know. There's always pop-up webinars happening, and you never know when nuggets may be shared. So check back on my Facebook page throughout the day and look for pop-up webinars. We'll see you the next time.